You probably think pirates were all buried treasure and parrots on shoulders. But the truth is, life aboard a pirate ship in the 18th century was cold, wet, violent, and surprisingly democratic. And tonight, you're going to find out exactly what it felt like. Oh, and if you're enjoying these strange little time travel trips, I'd really appreciate a like or subscribe. Curious, what time is it where you are, and where are you listening from? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing how far this story reaches. Alright, let's set sail. But first, get comfortable. Seriously, adjust that pillow, pull up your blanket. Because where we're headed, you're going to want to be cozy. Congratulations. You just woke up on the creaking deck of a pirate sloop in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. The year is 71020. Your first sensation is the sway, the rolling, unpredictable motion of the sea under you. It's always moving. Your back presses against splintered wood and your clothes are damp with salt and sweat. You sit up slowly, blinking against the blinding morning sun. Above you, seagulls wheel and cry. Around you, men shout orders and haul rope, the deck already alive with motion. You're the youngest on board, just 13 years old. Cabin boy, the lowest of the low. Your job is simple: obey. Immediately, you're barefoot, your shirt clings to your back, and your trousers are patched at the knees. Your hands are raw from scrubbing. But you're not chained. You chose this. 3 weeks ago you stowed away in Nassau, desperate to escape the workhouse. You thought pirate life would be glory and gold. Now you're scrubbing puke from the captain's boots. Captain Red Elias commands the Sable Wraith, a two-masted sloop with a reputation for speed and cruelty. He's got a gold ring through his nose and eyes that never blink. He caught you hiding below deck on the 3rd day out. He didn't throw you overboard, he made you the ship's errand boy instead. A kind of mercy. You eat last, you sleep where you can, and your first chore each morning is emptying the piss pots dumped on deck during the night. The sea air always smells of salt, tar, sweat, and something metallic you've come to know as blood. Breakfast, if you can call it that, is hardtack and water that tastes faintly of vinegar. Sometimes there's weevil in the biscuit. You eat it anyway. You dream about apples, about bread, about anything fresh, but fresh doesn't last long at sea. Above deck, the crew is preparing the sails. You hear curses in a dozen languages: English, French, Spanish, Dutch. The only universal tongue is rage. Someone shouts, "Sail ho," and you freeze. That means another ship on the horizon. Could be merchant, could be Royal Navy, could be trouble. You scamper up the ladder to the forecastle. The captain's already got his glass to his eye, scanning the distant speck. He barks an order. The helmsman adjusts course. You're turning. Hunting. The ship groans under the shift in wind. The sails billow and the speed picks up. You feel it in your teeth. One of the older pirates, a man with a peg leg named Quinn, hands you a musket to carry below. "We're going to need it," he mutters. "You've never fired a musket. You've never even touched a loaded one. Your hands tremble. Below deck, it's chaos. Powder kegs are rolled into position. Grappling hooks are stacked. The cook's cleaver has gone missing again. You know what that means. The crew doesn't fight clean. If you board a merchant ship, the first rule is take everything. The second rule is leave no witnesses. You're not sure how you feel about that yet, but no one asks your opinion. You stow the musket like Quinn told you. Then you're back on deck, breathless. The target ship is closer now, a fat merchant brig. "Get ready to run the colours," someone yells. You know the drill. You'll raise the black flag only at the last moment. Until then, pretend to be a humble trader. Sweat beads your forehead. The captain waits, then gives the nod. The flag goes up. It snaps in the wind, black with a skull. The merchant ship veers hard to port, but it's too late. You're already alongside. Cannons fire. Smoke and splinters fill the air. You duck as the first volley booms across the water. You clutch the railing as another cannon booms beside you. The sound rattles your ribs and your ears ring. Black powder smoke curls around the deck like fog. The pirate gunners shout and reload with frantic speed. Cannonballs splash short, but one strikes the merchant ship's side. Wood shatters. A scream follows. You glimpse sailors on the other ship rushing, scattering. Some are trying to lower lifeboats, others are grabbing weapons. They're outmanned and outgunned. Captain Elias yells for the boarding party. Grappling hooks fly. Lines tighten. The two ships are reeled together, bumping with a groan of timber. You see the faces of the other crew now. They're terrified. You should feel something. Pity, fear. But mostly you feel cold. Quinn pushes a cutlass into your hand. Hold it, don't use it. Just stay behind me. He's already leaping over the rail with a roar. You don't leap, you climb. Your hands shake. The cutlass feels too heavy. But you follow, you have to. You're part of the crew now. The deck of the merchant ship is chaos. Pirates and sailors clash. Steel flashes. Blood sprays. You duck instinctively as someone swings wildly past you. A sailor stumbles backward into you, eyes wide. You both freeze. Neither of you swings. Then someone else knocks him down. You run, past the fight, down into the hold. Quinn told you to find valuables. Chests, crates, anything not nailed down. The hold smells like mold and apples. Barrels are stacked to the ceiling. You hear fighting above. It sounds like thunder. You spot a crate labeled Spices Havana. That'll fetch a price. You start dragging it toward the stairs. Someone shouts behind you. A merchant crewman, barely older than you, holding a knife. You both hesitate. Then a pirate rushes in and tackles him. The boy screams. You don't look back. You keep dragging the crate. Your arms burn. Your eyes sting. By the time you reach the deck again, it's over. The merchant flag is down. Bodies litter the planks. The air stinks of blood and smoke. The captain stands proudly inspecting the prize. He counts heads. Nods. Not bad, he mutters. His eyes pass over you, then move on. You feel something on your cheek, you touch it. Blood. Not yours, you wipe it away, hand trembling. The crates are hauled aboard the Sable Wraith. You work alongside the others. No rest yet. Loot first. Grieve later, if ever. The dead are rolled overboard. Pirate and sailor alike. The sea claims them without ceremony. The crew jokes, spits, lights pipes. You don't speak, you can't. Your stomach twists, you don't throw up, but only barely. That night, you sit near the galley fire, hands wrapped around a tin cup of watered rum. It burns going down. Quinn sits beside you. You did fine, he says. You stayed alive. That's what matters. He doesn't smile. He just sips his drink. You lie down on the hard boards, wrapped in a damp blanket. The creak of the hull is your lullaby. The rocking sea never stops. Sleep comes slowly. You see flashing blades when you close your eyes. Hear screams. Smell blood. You keep your eyes open instead. Eventually, exhaustion wins. You dream of land, of bread, of your mother's voice. But they feel distant now, like stories you once heard. Dawn comes red. A storm is brewing on the horizon. The captain orders the sails trimmed. The crew groans. More work. No rest. You're sent aloft. Up the rigging. Your fingers are numb. The wind bites. Below, the sea swells, dark and mean. The storm hits fast. Rain slashes like whips. The sails snap. Men shout, stumble, vanish overboard. You cling to the mast, soaked and terrified. Lightning flashes, illuminating faces frozen in fear. The Sable Wraith groans like a dying beast. Hours pass. The storm doesn't let up. Barrels break loose. A man screams as one slams into him. You look away. The captain ties himself to the helm. He laughs into the wind. Hold her steady, boys. He roars like it's a game. By midnight, the storm begins to break. You're bruised, soaked, and barely awake. But alive. The ship creaks, but she holds. The sea calms. Stars peek through. The crew begins to breathe again. Jokes return. Songs. A kind of mad joy. You sit on a coil of rope, too tired to move. Salt crusts your lips. You feel older than yesterday. Much older. The next day, repairs begin. You patch sails, mend rope, scrub blood from the deck. Nothing is said about the dead. A week passes. Another. Time at sea stretches. The days blend. The routine settles in. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. You learn fast how to tie knots, how to climb rigging, how to spot a sail from miles away. Quinn teaches you to clean weapons, to shave with a knife, to drink just enough to sleep but not forget. One night, you find a quiet moment. You stare at the stars. You wonder if your family is looking at them too. You whisper their names, just once. Then you go below because morning comes early. It always does. It's been 40 days since you first set foot on the pirate ship. You've stopped counting bruises, stopped dreaming of rescue. You belong to the sea now, and the ship is your world, wood, rope, canvas, and the men who haunt its decks. You know their names, their habits, who snores, who drinks too much, who wakes screaming. You've seen their worst. The cook, Old Bram, has a missing thumb and a fondness for rat stew. You learned not to ask what's in the pot. Bram likes you. That helps. He gives you scraps when he's in a good mood and a clout when he's not. You've learned to stay quiet around Elias. The captain's moods turn fast, boisterous one moment, violent the next. He once had a man flogged for spilling wine. Another was thrown overboard for cheating at dice. You hear stories in the dark. The crew whispers of ships they've taken, of gold buried on islands no map shows. They talk about Tortuga, Port Royal, and a place called Dead Man's Cove. You're not sure which are real. Quinn says every pirate lies, but every lie starts with a truth. That's the trick. Knowing which part is which. Today, you're on lookout duty. You sit atop the crow's nest, legs dangling over the side. The world stretches in all directions. The sea is calm, a mirror of silver. A school of dolphins breaks the surface, racing beside the ship. You smile. For a moment, it's almost beautiful. Then your eye catches something far off, a sail. You shout the alert. The crew springs into motion. The captain climbs up with his spyglass. His face splits into a grin. Dutch trader, he mutters. Slow, fat. Let's get her. The hunt is on. This time it's smoother. The sable wraith closes the distance in hours. The sun is high and hot. You sweat through your shirt. Your skin is sunburned, shoulders raw. But you stay ready. Everyone does. The black flag goes up. This time the trader surrenders without a fight. They know what happens otherwise. You watch the crew board her, ransack the hold. They come back with sugar, rum, and bolts of silk. One man tries to hide a coin purse. Elias sees it. No words, just a shot. The body falls overboard. That night, the mood is lighter. There's singing, laughter, even dancing on the deck. You get a full portion of meat. Quinn tosses you a flask. You're one of us now, he says. You don't know if that's good or bad. You drink, not much, just enough to sleep without dreaming, just enough to forget the floating corpse. Days pass, then weeks. One morning you wake with a fever. Your skin is hot, your stomach churns. Old Bram says it's the flux. Dirty water, bad food, too much sun. You lie in the hold, wrapped in a damp blanket. The ship rocks and you vomit into a bucket. Your head pounds like cannon fire. Time blurs. Quinn checks on you, brings water, pours it over your lips even when you can't drink. He says nothing, just stays. You don't know how long you're sick. When you finally stand again, the world feels different, muted, thinner. You lost weight. Your hands shake, but you're alive. And on this ship, that's enough. The wind picks up again. The ship flies across the water. You return to your duties, hauling rope, scrubbing decks, climbing rigging. One day, Elias calls a meeting on deck. He holds up a map, yellowed and cracked. The crew gathers close. Buried treasure, he announces. Spanish gold, left by Cortez. We sail at dawn. The men cheer. You look at Quinn. He doesn't cheer. He frowns. Cortez has been dead 200 years, he mutters. Still, the crew follows. Gold clouds every judgment. Even yours, you dare to hope. You sail west, toward a string of jagged islands. The days grow hotter, the sea more restless. On the fourth day, you spot a fin trailing the ship. Then two. Then three. Sharks. Always there, always waiting. Land appears. A black crescent of rock and jungle. The crew lowers boats. You're in the second skiff. The water is clear, the beach untouched. You wade ashore with the others, sand warm underfoot. Elias leads them inland. Machetes cut vines. Mosquitoes swarm. You sword at them constantly. Deep in the jungle, you reach a clearing. At its centre, a stone altar, half buried in moss. "This is it," Elias declares. He kneels, brushes dirt away. There's something there, a metal latch. They dig with hands, blades, anything. Hours pass. Finally, a box emerges. It's wood bound in rusted iron. Elias prees it open. Inside, coins. Gold. Spanish. Real. The crew erupts in cheers. Men weep, laugh, fall to their knees. It's the first time you've seen Elias smile. Each man gets a handful. Elias keeps the rest. You hold your share like it might vanish. You sail back richer. Not much, but enough to make your fingers ache from gripping it. The wind is with you. The sable wraith slices across the waves like she's alive. The men are loud, joyful, but you've seen enough to know joy is fragile. The sea takes as quickly as it gives. That night you sleep with the coins under your shirt. You dream of home, of fields, of your mother's hands. You dream of a life where you never stepped aboard a pirate ship, but morning always comes, and the rigging always waits. The coins feel heavier with each passing day. You keep them hidden, wrapped in cloth, tucked deep in the ship's hold where no one goes. Some of the crew spent theirs already. Rum, dice, women in the last port. Others guard theirs like dragons, eyes sharp, sleep light. The mood aboard the ship shifts. Laughter fades. Distrust grows. You feel it in glances, in silence, in hands resting closer to blades. He shrugs. "He shouldn't have been careless," he says, and moves on. The body is dumped with no words. Quinn tells you, "We're wolves. Don't forget that. Even wolves bite their own when the meat runs low." Supplies are running low. The fresh water is nearly gone. The salted pork is crawling. Bread is mouldy. Old Bram scrapes the barrel for the last of the flour. "We need land soon," he mutters, more to himself than anyone. Elias calls for a new heading, north, toward the Florida Straits. Rumors say Spanish galleons still pass that way. You wonder if that's true, or just another lie born of hunger. But the crew cheers. They want to believe. The sea turns fickle. Storms threaten but never arrive. The sails hang limp for days. The ship groans in the stillness. You bake in the sun. Your skin peels. The water ration drops to half a cup a day. Your lips crack. One afternoon you see Quinn praying, not loudly, not with words, just his hands on the railing and eyes on the horizon. At night you hear whispers of mutiny, men questioning Elias's course, his sanity. Gold changes everything. You keep your head down, you say nothing, but your ears stay open. You're learning the pirate way. One morning land appears, a narrow spit of beach fringed with palms. The crew cheers like madmen. You anchor offshore, boats lower. The men race for land, desperate for shade, for fresh water, for something new. You help carry barrels to a small spring near the tree line. The water is warm but clean. It tastes like life. You wash. For the first time in weeks, you scrub salt and grime from your skin. It doesn't come off easily. That night there's fire on the beach. Real meat roasting. Laughter returns like an old friend nobody expected. You sit beside Quinn. He carves a piece of mango with his knife, passes it to you.
"Almost worth dying for," he says. The crew grows careless in their joy. No one keeps watch. You wake to shouting. Gunshots, screams, raiders, not navy, not pirates.
Something else. Fishermen turned thieves, maybe. Desperate men with sharp blades. You scramble toward the boat. Someone grabs you. A flash of steel. Quinn tackles him, slams his head into the sand. You escape. The boat rocks wildly as you row for the ship. Arrows fly from shore. One sticks in the hull. You collapse on deck, breathless. Half the crew returns. Some don't. Elias is bleeding from a cut above his eye. "We stay out here too long," he growls. The world catches up. He doesn't say more. He doesn't have to. You set sail again, faster now. No more shore leaves, no more treasure hunts, just the endless hunt for survival. The gold means little now. No one talks about it. The coins grow heavier each day. You toss yours overboard one night, one at a time. No one sees. The splash is soft, the release louder than a cannon. Quinn doesn't ask. He sees your empty hands, just nods once, then walks away. A month passes, then another. You forget what day it is, what month. You measure time in storms and scars. Your voice grows deeper, your hands rougher. You're taller now, stronger. You think like a sailor, like a pirate. One evening you're handed the wheel, just for an hour, just while the helmsman sleeps. The tiller creaks under your grip. The stars guide you, the wind listens. For once no one yells. You feel something rise in your chest. Not pride, not yet, but something close. A sense of place. You belong here now. Not because you chose it, but because it's who you became. Below deck, men snore and shift. Above, the sails snap gently in the wind. The sea is calm. You steer true, just like you were taught. And when your hour ends, you don't want to let go. You sleep on the deck that night, beneath the open sky. The stars feel closer than they ever did on land. In the morning, Elias nods at you. Not bad, he says. That's all. That's enough. The sable wraith sails on, toward the unknown, toward danger, toward tomorrow. You no longer fear it. The sable wraith cuts through the waves with silent confidence. Her hull creaks, her sails stretch, but she never falters. You move like a ghost now, quiet, efficient, invisible unless needed. No one questions you. No one mocks you. You've earned your place. Elias calls you by name, not boy, not you, your name. It feels strange, like a memory dredged up from before the sea. The crew respects you, or at least they stop treating you like a stray dog. That, in pirate terms, is friendship. Quinn no longer watches your back. He walks beside you, talks to you. Trust forged in blood and silence. A squall brews fast one evening. Dark clouds roll in like cannon smoke. The sails are reefed in record time. You take the helm again. The tiller bucks, but you hold it. Rain lashes your face. The ship groans, but you steer true. When the storm breaks, Elias claps your shoulder. You're a sailor now, he says. Just that. But it's everything. The next day is calm. Sunlight sparkles on the sea. A pod of whales surfaces nearby, massive and indifferent. You lean on the railing, watching them breathe. One exhales mist that glows gold in the light. Below deck, old Bram sings. Something low and rough and probably filthy, but it makes the men laugh. The ship smells like sweat, salt and stew. It always will. But today it doesn't bother you. You help mend a sail. Your hands know the knots now, the tension of the line, the grain of the canvas. Another week. Another port. This one small and forgotten, just a crooked dock, a few huts and the promise of rum. Elias lets the crew go ashore in pairs. No chaos, no looting. Just a brief taste of something like peace. You walk with Quinn. You sit on the sand and share a bottle of something strong and probably illegal. He tells you about his daughter, her name, her laugh, how long it's been since he saw her. You ask why he stays at sea. He shrugs. Same reason you do, nowhere else to go. You return to the ship before dark. The others straggle back, loud and swaying. Some don't make it. They always knew the risk. A fight breaks out over a cheating hand of cards. Elias ends it with a warning shot and no lecture. Next morning, the anchor is lifted. The sails unfurl. The sable wraith leaves the dock without looking back. You dream less now. When you do, it's never land. Only sea. Only wind and stars and sails. The horizon stretches forever. A flat promise, a warning, a prayer. Elias brings out the old charts, points to a small island shaped like a hook. We'll try there next, he says. It's unclaimed. No flag, no map shows it. Just rumour and a spot of land seen once years ago. The crew murmurs. Half fear, half hunger. The sea does that. Turns even fantasy into hope. You make landfall at dawn. The beach is red sand. The jungle beyond is silent. Too silent. No birds. No monkeys. Just wind in the leaves and the sense that you're not supposed to be here. Still, the crew spreads out. Shovels dig. Machetes clear paths. You follow Quinn inland. The trees here grow twisted. Vines hang like nooses. Everything smells wrong, sweet and rotten. You come to a clearing. Stones piled in unnatural ways. Bones. Not animal. Human. Old. Brittle. Quinn curses under his breath. "This isn't treasure," he mutters. "This is warning. You want to leave." But Elias orders the digging to continue. "Gold doesn't bury itself," he says. Hours pass. A box is found. Rotten wood, wrapped in chain. The crew hauls it to the surface. Elias opens it. Inside, nothing. Just dust. A laugh echoes from someone, nervous, high-pitched. Then something howls, not animal, not man, from the jungle, closer than it should be. Elias barks to retreat. Men run. Some don't make it. The jungle takes them, silent and fast. You sprint. Branches whip your face. You trip, fall. Get up. You don't look back. You reach the beach, gasping. The boats shove off. A crewman bleeds into the sea, clutching his side. No one asks what it was. No one speaks. Not even Elias. The sable wraith sails away fast. Faster than she ever has. The island disappears. No one ever marks it on a chart. For days, the crew is silent. Then laughter returns, like a mask pulled on too tight. You keep your voice low, your eyes sharp. Whatever that was, it changed something in all of you. Even Elias doesn't seem the same. He spends more time alone, staring at the horizon like it owes him something. You sharpen your blade. Oil the musket. Count rations. The sea is beautiful, yes, but never forget she is cruel first. A week passes since the island. The memory fades, but the feeling doesn't. The crew avoids the topic like a cursed name. The sea is restless. The waves chop and churn even without wind. The compass spins strangely more than once. Elias locks himself in his quarters most days. You hear pacing, muttering, sometimes laughter when no one's told a joke. Quinn starts charting his own course, quietly. He teaches you to read the stars without tools, just instinct and memory. You never trust a man more than you trust the ocean, he tells you. And you never trust the ocean. You take night watch more often now. You like the quiet. You like the stars. They don't lie like people do. Sometimes you sing low while on duty, songs your mother once hummed. No one hears you. You prefer it that way. There are fewer fights now. Not because tempers cooled, but because the men are too tired, too wary. They whisper of ghosts, of curses, of islands that mark the end of sanity. You've learned not to argue with sailors' fears. The sable wraith starts to creak in unfamiliar ways. The mast shifts strangely in calm wind. The ropes feel warm to the touch. Bram says the ship is alive now. She knows too much, he mutters over his pot. She remembers too much. Food dwindles again. The rats return. This time they're aggressive. One bites a crewman's hand while he sleeps. You wake to screams. The bite festered. Bram lances it with a hot knife while 3 men hold the victim down. The smell is worse than death. But you don't gag. You've smelled worse now. You've seen worse. Elias emerges for the first time in days. His face is drawn, eyes ringed. He gives no speech. Just an order. Southwest. No one asks why. They just obey. You notice Quinn watching him more than usual, jaw tight. At night, Elias drinks. He paces the deck barefoot. Once, you find him staring into the sea, whispering a name. You don't ask. You don't want to know. Some knowledge rots the mind faster than fever. A ship appears on the horizon. Spanish colours. A galleon. Rich and slow and full of powder. The crew comes alive like they haven't in weeks. The hunger returns, not for food, but for victory, for purpose. You clean weapons, count rounds, oil blades. You don't feel fear this time, just readiness. The chase lasts 2 days. The wind favours you. The sable wraith gains like a shadow rising behind them. They fire first. A warning, a mistake. It gives away their range and leaves them open. Elias commands without hesitation. The reply is devastating. 3 volleys and the galleon lists, her sails shredded. Boarding is swift, brutal. You're among the first over the rail, blade in hand, eyes open. You fight, not for glory, not for gold, just to keep breathing. That's the pirate way. You block a swing, trip a man. Quinn finishes him. You nod once and move on. No time to think. Blood slicks the deck. The ship reeks of smoke and fear. Somewhere below, powder catches. An explosion rocks the hull. You dive flat, ears ringing. Splinters embed in your arm. You don't feel them until later. The galleon burns. Her survivors scream and leap into the sea. Some are shot before they hit the water. You drag a wounded crewman back to the skiff. His leg is gone below the knee. He cries for his mother. Back aboard the sable wraith. The loot is piled high, silver cloth barrels of spice and wine. Elias smiles, the first true smile in weeks. But it doesn't reach his eyes. It looks borrowed. The wounded are treated. The dead are counted. The sails are patched. The deck scrubbed. Always scrubbed. You sit beside Quinn at dusk. You're both too tired to speak. The sea is calm, but you don't trust it. That night, there's music. Real music. Someone found a fiddle. It wails like a ghost, but brings comfort. You dance, just for a moment. Feet bare, scars forgotten, sky open above you. The others laugh. It feels human again, like a memory half recalled. You fall asleep under the stars, arms crossed over your chest, blade close at hand. In your dreams, the sea whispers secrets in a voice that sounds like your own. You wake before dawn, dew in your hair, the sky bleeding purple. Another day, another sail on the horizon. You alert the crew. Elias rises. "Let's see what fate brings us today," he says. You wonder if he still believes in fate, or if he's just looking for something to chase. The ship ahead isn't Spanish. It flies no flag. It sails fast, too fast for a merchant. The crew tenses. Elias squints through the spyglass. "Privateers," he growls. "Not quite pirates, not quite law. Dangerous either way." You prepare the cannons. Load powder, tamp shot, set fuses. Your hands move on instinct now. Quinn pulls you aside. "They don't take prisoners," he says. His voice is flat, cold. The ship's close. No warning shots. Just smoke, fire, screams. The sea between turns black with debris. You fire. Once, twice. You don't know if you hit anything. You just reload. Again and again. A cannonball slams into your deck. Wood splinters. A crewman vanishes in a flash of red and smoke. The 2 ships scrape together. Grappling hooks fly. It's close quarters now. No more cannons, just steel. You leap with Quinn. His blade moves like wind. Yours is slower, clumsy, but you aim for legs, not hearts. Someone grabs you. You twist, slam your hilt into his nose. He screams. You run. Survival, not glory. Elias is everywhere, barking orders, slashing down attackers. Blood soaks his coat. His eyes are wild. The privateers fight hard, desperate, like men with nothing to lose. One grabs a torch, heads for the powder hold. Quinn spots him first, shoots. The man drops, torch clattering on wet boards. You both exhale at once. The fighting lasts hours. Then silence. The privateers are dead or gone. The ship burns. You limp back across. You count the crew. 10 fewer. The deck smells like ash and iron. You don't eat that night. Bram makes broth. No one touches it. Some stare into their bowls like it might show them home. You dream of fire, of water filling your lungs. You wake coughing, heart racing. Dawn comes grey and silent. The wind is gone. The sea stretches like glass. You scrub the deck with numb hands. The blood never quite washes out. Elias locks himself away again. Quinn speaks less now. He sharpens blades that are already sharp. Morale cracks. You hear men talk of jumping ship, swimming for unseen shores. Madness, but spoken aloud. Then the wind returns. hard, fast, like it was waiting for you to break. The sails snap to life. You sail west, always west, toward rumours, toward gold, toward silence. Quinn tells you about the trade winds, about patterns in the stars. He talks to you like a man, not a boy. You listen. Absorb. You know this life now. You could survive alone if you had to. A gull lands on the mast. First bird in weeks. Bram says it's a sign. No one dares guess what kind. You reach an atoll, barely more than a ring of sand and coral. But the water is clear. You drop anchor. You wade ashore. The sand is hot, the breeze gentle. For a moment it feels like peace. You sit beneath a palm and carve driftwood with Quinn's knife. The shape becomes a ship, small and sharp. He joins you, says nothing. Just watches you work, eyes thoughtful. You ask what he'll do if he ever leaves the sea. He doesn't answer, just hands you a shell. That night, a storm rolls in, sudden, furious. The ship tugs hard on her anchor line. You're on watch. You yell. Men scramble aboard. Waves rise fast. Elias fights the rudder. You help reef the sails. Lightning strikes the water, blinding white. A mast cracks. You hear it snap like a bone. Wood falls. Someone screams. You grab a rope, swing to the deck, cut another free. Rain blinds you. Hours pass. The storm claws the ship like an angry god. You pray for morning. It comes late. The storm breaks like a fever. The sea calms, bruised and steaming. 3 men are missing. One was Quinn's bunkmate. Quinn doesn't speak that day. You find his knife beside your hammock. A silent gesture. A passing of something heavier than steel. Elias orders repairs. The crew moves like ghosts, silent, efficient, changed. You spend hours replacing ropes, stitching sail, burning the bodies that wash back. You stop marking days. Time feels circular now. Storm, hunger, silence, blood. Quinn teaches you to tie a double hitch one-handed. Just in case you lose one, he says. That night he tells a story, not a true one. A myth. About a sailor who became the sea. The crew laughs for the first time in days. It's thin, but real. A small crack of warmth. You sleep on deck again. The stars are hidden behind clouds, but you still look up. The sable wraith rocks gently. You close your eyes. Tomorrow will come. It always does. The crew is quieter now, but calmer too. The storm washed something away, fear maybe, or illusions. You spend your days repairing what the wind took. Splinters become stories. Bruises become badges. Bram says, if the ship didn't want us dead, we're meant to keep going. He laughs like he means it. Quinn shows you how to balance on the rigging in a headwind. Feel her breathe, he says, and you do. You memorize the creaks of the boards, the way the mainsail tugs when weather changes, the rhythm of survival. Elias returns to the helm. His eyes are sunken but focused. He seems steadier, like the madness left with the gale. One night he calls you to his cabin. You expect orders. Instead he asks, why did you come aboard? You hesitate, then tell the truth. The workhouse, the beatings, the cold, the hunger. His silence means he understands. He hands you a flask, not rum, tea, actual tea. Hot and strange and faintly sweet. You drink it in one gulp. Good, he says, you'll live longer than I did. And just like that, you're dismissed. You step into the moonlight, the taste of warmth still in your mouth. The wind lifts your hair like a blessing. The next day, land appears. A sliver of green in a sapphire sea. The men cheer, but softly, as if afraid to break the spell. It's a trading post, not English, not Spanish, neutral, unclaimed. Elias calls it a hole in the map. You anchor at dusk. The town flickers with lanterns. Music drifts across the water, strings, drums, laughter. You row ashore with Quinn. Boots hitting the dock feel heavier than they should. Like the land resists you. The streets are crooked. The faces darker. Not unfriendly, just uninterested. You pass vendors selling oranges, knives, trinkets. Quinn buys tobacco. You buy nothing. You want to touch nothing. This place feels borrowed. You find an alley with music and sit on a barrel. Someone dances, barefoot, spinning, eyes closed. For a moment you forget the sea. You forget blood, storms, hunger. You just breathe. Then someone calls your name. Not your title, not boy, your name. You turn. It's Elias. He hands you a coin purse. Your share, he says. No explanation, no ceremony. You open it later, alone. Silver coins, real ones. You count them twice, then stop. You don't know what they mean. Freedom? Danger? A future you can't imagine? Back on the ship, you hide them deep in your hammock lining. Not because you don't trust the crew, because you trust the sea less. The Sable Wraith sails again at dawn. No one speaks during departure, as if silence might seal the memory. You take the helm without being asked. Elias nods. That's all. You understand. Another week, then 2. The wind holds. The sails smile. The ship feels lighter. Quinn tells you stories of the Arctic. Icebergs like palaces. Whales the size of dreams. You wonder if they're real. You hope they are. You need something to believe in beyond the horizon. You write with a stub of charcoal on sail scraps, your name. Fragments of things you remember. A song, a date. You stash them in a box under the floorboards. You don't know why. Maybe someone will read them someday. Another squall. This one passes quick, but fierce. You steer through it clean. The crew cheers. Later, Elias pulls you aside. You've got salt in your blood now, he says. Can't go back. You know he's right. Even if land waits, even if gold calls, the sea has its hooks in you. You sleep with one eye open, not from fear but from habit. Storms don't knock. The younger crew mimic you now. Copy your knots, your stance at the helm, the way you test wind with a wet finger. You're no longer a cabin boy, not officially. But titles don't matter here. Skill does. Grit does. A new recruit asks your name. You answer, just the sea. He laughs. You don't. That night you watch a meteor fall. It slices the sky and vanishes. You whisper thanks, though you don't know to what. You dream of a cove, of still water, of someone waiting, but you never reach them before waking. Morning comes warm. You wash your face in a bucket and see your reflection. Older, leaner, a stranger. You find Quinn carving again. This time it's a bird. Wings spread, mid-flight. Storm's coming, he says, not looking up. You nod. You already felt it in the ropes. The storm hits at night. No warning. No moon. Just a sudden scream of wind that tears the sky in two. Rain lashes sideways. The sails snap like whips. Men shout, slipping on the slick deck. You're barefoot. Rope burned. Drenched. You grip the helm with both hands, knuckles white. Elias is beside you. No orders now, just survival. Just instinct, just the storm. Quinn climbs the rigging with a lantern in his teeth. You pray he doesn't fall. Lightning splits the mainmast. It catches fire, then goes out in the rain. The ship tilts hard. A crate slides. A man vanishes overboard. No one sees who. You bite your lip until it bleeds. Just to stay grounded, just to stay real. The storm lasts all night. When the sun finally rises, it does so shyly through torn clouds. 3 men are gone. The sails are in tatters. The mizzenmast is cracked. Bram cooks silence. No one speaks. No one eats. Just sits and stares. You sleep where you fall, face down on wet wood, dreamless. The days after are slow, quiet, a kind of mourning you don't name. Quinn finds you staring at the sea. He says, storms teach, but they don't forgive. You nod, because what else is there to say? You stitch canvas with shaking hands. The cuts blister, but you work through it. Elias begins mapping again, not for treasure, for direction, for purpose. He pins a mark near the edge of the world, an island shaped like a crescent claw. Here, he says, we rest, or we end. No one cheers, but no one argues either. That's something. You sail for 10 days. No wind for 5. You row. All of you. Even Elias. Blisters open. Heel reopen. Salt crusts your lips. The barrel water tastes like mold. You hallucinate once. A voice from the waves, a hand reaching from below. Quinn shakes you awake. "Don't dream out here," he says. The sea listens. Land appears at last, sharp black cliffs, foam pounding the rocks. You anchor in a cove hidden from the horizon, a place only desperation finds. Elias takes only 5 men ashore. You're one of them. Quinn too. The beach is empty, the jungle thick, but there are signs, broken shells, old footprints. Something was here, maybe still is. You walk in silence, cut a path through vines and heat. Find ruins, stone walls swallowed by moss, a well choked with roots. Inside one ruin, a stone chair. On it, a skeleton in faded robes. Gold glints beneath the bones. Coins, rings, a dagger crusted in rubies. Elias kneels. "We take only what we can carry." The crew obeys. Quietly, carefully, even greed feels afraid here. You pocket a single coin, heavy, cold. Back at the beach, the air feels heavier, the sea higher. You load the boat, paddle fast. The sky darkens, though the sun is still high. Back on the ship, thunder rolls. But no lightning, no rain, just sound. That night, the sea glows faint blue, phosphorescent, beautiful. Wrong. No one speaks above a whisper. Even laughter sounds like apology. Elias locks the coin away. "We won't sell it," he says. "Just hold it." The ship drifts. No wind, no current. The compass spins again. You start seeing shadows where none fall. Shapes beneath the water. Quinn doesn't sleep. You catch him talking to the sea. Bram burns herbs in the galley, says it keeps spirits off the deck. A crewman disappears. No splash, no noise, just gone. You count heads hourly now, just to be sure. One night, the anchor drops without being touched. Metal on metal, you wake to find salt lines across your chest, not sweat. Elias orders the coin thrown overboard. No one argues. It sinks fast, too fast, like it was pulled. The sea calms within minutes. The ship begins to move. No one explains it, but everyone understands. You pass the ruins' coordinates without stopping. No one looks back. The wind favors you now. The sky clears. The sails billow full and white, but the crew remains quiet. Something was left behind. Something was warned. You and Quinn sit at the stern watching the horizon grow. "You think it's over?" you ask. He shakes his head. The sea doesn't forget. The wind carries you west. Days stretch long, hot, golden. The sea mirrors the sky, endless, quiet watching. You chart new waters. Places not marked on any map. The compass settles, but your gut still churns. At night, you sleep lighter than ever. One creak wakes you, one breath out of rhythm. Elias writes more now. Journals, sketches, strange symbols. You wonder if he's mapping the soul instead of the sea. Quinn teaches you to gut a fish with one hand. For when the other's broken, he says, then grins. You start keeping a tally on the mast with a nail. Days since land, days since death, days since dreams. The ship sighs as she sails. You start to think she feels loneliness maybe, memory. A pod of dolphins follows you for 3 days. Bram says it's luck. Quinn says it's curiosity. You say nothing, just smile at the sight of life moving freely beside you. Food runs low. The salted fish is pink with rot. You scrape it, eat anyway. The younger crew grow thin. One collapses while hauling rope. You carry him below. He wakes an hour later, thanks you, says your name like it's a prayer. Rain comes. Short, hard, blessed. Barrels out, mouths open. You catch enough to last a week. The crew dances shirtless under the downpour. Even Elias smiles briefly like old scars warming. You watch lightning flash far out on the horizon. Beautiful, safe. For now. At dawn, a shape appears. Low, long, dark against the horizon. A ship. You raise the glass. No flag. Tattered sails. Drifting, not moving. Ghost ship, someone mutters. The crew falls silent. Elias orders a slow approach, weapons ready. No boarding unless forced. You drift beside her at noon. Her name is burned off. The deck is empty. Quinn ties you to her stern. You board with Elias and two others. The silence is thick. Every footstep sounds like betrayal. No bodies. No blood. Just scattered tools. An apple half rotted. You find a journal in the captain's quarters. The last page is wet, blank. Below deck, barrels are full, fresh, untouched. A feast and a warning. Elias debates leaving it. Then sighs. We're starving. Take what you can, no more. You obey. But your hands tremble. The ship feels unfinished. Back aboard the Sable Wraith, the food tastes clean, but your belly knots. That night, wind howls though the rigging like words in a forgotten tongue. Quinn doesn't sleep. You find him standing with his eyes closed, listening. You sit beside him. Don't speak. Just wait for morning. The ghost ship is gone by dawn. Cut loose. Drifting again. The barrels remain. So does the unease. A new boy asks, "What if we're cursed?" You don't answer. You just look to the sky and check the sails. The wind is good. The course is clear. But your heart beats faster now. You begin dreaming again. Of cliffs. Of fire. Of voices calling you below. You wake with salt in your mouth and bruises on your arms. Bram starts painting the deck with chalk. Strange runes. He hums as he works. Elias doesn't stop him. Says nothing, actually. The crew begins to whisper less. They work faster. Eat slower. You hold the wheel longer now. Alone at night, under stars that flicker wrong. You see things in the waves. Not shapes, intentions. Once you hear laughter in the sails. It's your voice, but twisted. You don't tell Quinn. You don't need to. He's hearing things too. One evening, the sea turns black. Not dark, black, oily, still. The ship stops. No breeze, no drift, just floating, waiting. You toss a bucket overboard. It comes up empty. Not dry. Empty. Panic simmers below deck. You feel it in the planks, the looks. Elias holds a meeting. We sail through, or not at all. Quinn ties the sails tighter. Bram ties charms to the mast. You stand at the prow, blade ready for what you don't know. The night passes in silence. Not calm, silence. At dawn, the water returns. Blue. Normal. The crew erupts in relief. But not celebration, not yet. You look at your coin stash that night. Count them. Then toss one over. It doesn't sink, it just vanishes. No splash, no ripple. You sleep with your blade under your ribs. You whisper to the sea, asking it what it wants. It doesn't answer.